This last block, I'm going to discuss just some further stuff that we did with Tableau and some anticipated questions we thought you guys might have had as people call you for survey results. Again, we're here with the AMPVS 14s, and we're looking at them by survey. Basically, we have a count by rank of who answered the question for each survey. Now, this is used together with our histogram that we developed in the last block, and I used them together in a dashboard which will help you look through and kind of see, how significant are these answers. So as I animate this, you can kind of see how different ranks answered at different times and get a grasp of how significant the answers may or may not be. Now, we chose Tableau because we didn't think that Excel had the capability to do this movement of data over time. However, we understand that Excel 13 may have some of this capability, but in the past 10 days that I've been using Tableau, I think it's much easier to grasp, much more user-friendly, and much more dynamic than Excel is. First example here, we looked at some mortar rounds. We grouped them by operation. So if we go up to Afghanistan, we can see how these different mortar rounds ranked in comparison with one another. We can see sometimes they weren't even used or surveyed. And we can see sometimes that some did much better than others in different operations. The next question we looked at is, how did different mounted systems play a part by unit type in the different operations? So first we'll go through Operation Enduring Freedom, just Afghanistan. You can see in the armored brigade combat teams, you can see how the M1 down here for the E5s was pretty good in OEF. But if you look at it compared to OIF, you can see the M1 rated a lot higher, and that makes sense with terrain. You can look at other vehicles in the same way. IBCT, using the up-armored Humvees. Okay, we've got kind of in the middle there with the up-armored Humvees, and it appears that most of what they liked was the Max Pros, Max Pro Dashes, and the Cayman. If we go to New Dawn, you see less people kind of respond to the survey, less equipment over there at that point, and a lot more rankings in these in the up-armored Humvees. Next one we looked at was weapon systems by brigade. So we have these 4 different brigade types: Striker Brigade combat teams, IBCTs, Field Artillery Brigades, and Armor Brigade combat teams. Those are we just randomly sampled those and these 3 weapon systems: the M4A1 carbine, M4 carbine, and the ground-mounted 120mm mortar. You can see the Striker Brigade combat team right here, on average, gave the M4A1 a 0.89 ranking. On average, gave the M4 0.69, and the 120mm a 0.76. The IBCT liked the 120mm a little better. It's their weapon, while the SBCTs got their vehicle-mounted 120s. They ranked the M4A1 at 0.67, or I'm sorry, the M4 at 0.67, and the M4A1 at 0.84. Again, you can see the same kind of results for the Field Artillery Brigade. And as you hover over these things, you can get a feel for the different rankings by a piece of equipment. So overall, we think that Tableau is probably the way to go when evaluating the survey data. Points of contact and information will be provided along with these briefs. And any further questions you might have, we are here to help and here to give you as much information as we can. Appreciate your time, and thank you for the opportunity to work on this.